So let's talk about social security. Be it education, be it health, social security has been one of the top priorities for us. The recent scheme of the Garib Kalyan Yojana, the Rojgar Yojana, has been released in 116 districts, covering the highest number of districts in the region of Bihar. You have 125 days of work that would be provided under 25 different mission mode categories. The whole scheme would have nearly a fund of 50,000 crores, and the initial launch was done in Tehligar in the Khagaria district of Bihar. Now, the idea under this project would be building community places, community infrastructure, Anganwadis, housing, water, sanitation, giving in better opportunities for returning migrants, and also talking about bringing in better infrastructure in the village areas. The next important thing that we need to understand is the Manrega scheme. Now, this is an entitlement driven scheme. You have minimum 100 days of guaranteed employment under this scheme, which focuses either on public work building, natural resource management, that could be creation of water security, watershed, afforestation, renovation activities, bringing in income and social security, stabilizing the employment during the off-peak seasons in the agricultural area. So it gives in a productive absorption of the workforce, which is low skilled, less educational levels, or are having very simplistic skills to do certain work, and it is one of the major ideas to move forward with poverty elevation in India. So this work is definitely providing a boost to the returning migrants. As of now, those who have been excluded could re-register those themselves. The data is being collected by the district administration, and agriculture growth has significantly increased. And when we are talking about a self-reliant nation, we are giving more thrust to agriculture. We have nearly 87% of the small and marginal laborers, who are marginal farmers, who have or who cultivate 40% of the land holding. So that is how we need to understand and change a scenario for agriculture. So under agriculture, disease resistant crops, pest resistant crops, bringing in more biotechnology, biofortification, with the increasing amounts of vitamins and minerals being included, and bringing in private investments in agricultural infrastructure being strengthened are some of the ways. Also linking farmers to the farmer producer organizations, 10,000 of which already exist, is one of the major approach in this direction. The next is social security. So in India, if there is an absence of social security, it would have a high burden onto the cost of ill health, cost of absenteeism at workplace, and labor problems that would occur. So bringing in social security is indeed very, very important. And the ILO statistics reveal that only 27% have social security in India. 90% of the workers are from the unorganized sector, and they do not have social security. So to protect the individual, to protect their households, and to protect the families of a single bread earner, it's very, very important that if there is a work injury, if there is a sickness, if there is invalidity, in those cases security must be given for a inclusive growth, to reduce the dependent population, to reduce, as we said, the cost of ill health. Social security and its issues are very, very important. Now, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana is a financial inclusion scheme which has been working in this regard. The next is the Jan Dhan Darshak app, which is being released by the Ministry of Finance and National Informatics Center. Now, this helps you locate the financial touch points where an individual can go and basically know on the app itself, know which are the financial touch points that they should contact. Similarly, you have Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, which is for the death, and it can be availed in the age group of 18 to 50 years with a premium of rupees 330 per year. Now, over the years, the companies have realized that the claims have increased 3 times. So they are pushing the government to increase this premium from 330 to at least 440 in order to sustain. Similarly, you have Suraksha Bima Yojana, which focuses on accidental coverage. The premium is rupees 12. Atal Pension Yojana provides for pension. Anyone from 18 to 40 years can join it, and then you would have a minimum pension of 1000 to 5,000 after 60 years that would be given. Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, which was started at a minimum age of 10 and meant for girls' education and marriage, and it was a part of the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Abhiyan. The maximum coverage that could be seen was under 8.1% interest for 10 years. Then you would have the account that would mature at 21 years, but there have been changes that have been brought about. The minimum age of 10 years has been shifted to 18 years. Similarly, we have a premature closure of the account that could be allowed in the cases there is a requirement for medical treatment, and the account can also be opened with people having more than 2 girl child by producing a simple affidavit and not a medical certificate. Now, if we look onto agriculture, here are some of the stories that we have. A big farmer has a land holding of more than 10 hectares that is seen. He can sell an output of 47 to 57%, and nearly 0.7% families and only 11% land lies under this. However, if we compare this to a small and marginal farmer, you have 44% area which lies under this, but he is able to sell only 12 to 33% of the produce that is done. So farming is believed to be one of the best options after business. Services are inferior and begging is the worst. That has been written by poet Garg in the lines of Uttam Kheti, Madhyam Ban, Nishida Chakari and Bhik Nidan. So that says that begging is the worst activity and agriculture is the most superior activity or the best occupations, followed by business. Now, this is some of the basics through which we understand how agriculture, and India being predominantly an agricultural land, you have numerous schemes flowing in. So PM Kisan Samman Nidhi provides an income support of 6,000 per year for 1 year, and that for every year basically, and that's under 3 installments of 2,000 each. Then you have Kisan Mandhan Yojana that talks about assured pension of 3,000 to small and marginal farmers after they enter an age of 60 years. The entry age is 18 to 40 years with a cultivable land of up to 2 hectares. And then you have Fasal Bima Yojana, which focuses on crop insurance. Now, if we look onto the patterns of production, we have seen a significant consumption rise that has been seen, but that has been matched with the food grain production that has been seen. The government has also moved the national mission on edible pulses and oil seeds to move with the National Food Security Act and the PM Annadata Anna Sanrakshan Yojana, which is aiming forward for a second yellow revolution when we talk about oil seeds. So post-COVID, we have seen a high amount of unemployment rise that has been registered with the rural scenarios. And after independence, when we were talking about the first 60 years of development, we said first 30 years would be dedicated to food security and next 30 years would be dedicated to sustaining that food security. So cropping in itself generates nearly 14,000 million man days of employment. So those moving into the rural area should be better absorbed with agriculture. And there have been factors which have been seen which show that small farmers have higher issues with increasing their income. The reason being there is a long gestation period for the cropping season. Also, a lot of land is under tree cover. There is less staple crop production that is being seen. They are less risk averse. They do not have sufficient capital to invest to have more growth, and they find it hard to get an institutionalized credit. So those are some of the reasons we could say the small farmers basically have hard time with increasing their income as compared to the large farmers. Now, when it comes to education, top 1% have nearly 75% of the wealth and bottom 60% have merely 5% of the wealth. And there is where the divide. We have 26% illiterate population, 90% in the unorganized sector, and 1/5 of the population which is below poverty line. So what we need to focus on is give a thrust to the education. Midday meals scheme under the National Program for Nutritional Support for Primary Education was one of such efforts which was launched to provide or to reduce the dropout dropout rates from the school. Integrated child development scheme focused on promoting child and maternal care. Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan focused on the basic primary education. Universalization of education, Operation Blackboard, and the district planning educational level development that is seen with a special focus on girls and children with special needs. Samragra Shiksha subsumes the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, and teachers education. So three components being subsumed under one, which is the Samragra Shiksha. The right to education is our right to have compulsory education between the age of 6 to 14 years. National Education Policy, the draft version 2019 has already been released. We have covered that in a separate video, very important, so don't miss that. eVidya is a portal where we are trying to bring in one nation, one platform to bring in more educational possibilities through Diksha portal, that is one of those, through Swayam, which is the online MOOC classes, Swayam Prabha, which is the direct to the DTE channels that are being released. Then you have Shiksha Vani radio programs. You have one earmarked TV channel, that is one class, one channel from class 1 to class 12. You have ePathshala as a digital repository that is being seen. And then you have Mano Darpan, which is an initiative of MHRD and NCRT to focus on the psychosocial support systems for families as well as students. NCRT is working on a new curriculum based approach. The top 100 universities in India have been working on online education platform. However, you have the remaining conventional universities which have moved from 20% of the courses to 40% of their courses online. Similarly, the aspirational district program focuses on 112 backward districts in India, which covers nearly 20% of the population, and this COVID has impacted nearly 1.5 lakh schools and 40,000 higher educational institutions. Now, when it comes to health, we have the following list of programs that have been working. When we focus on health security, it's not just the physical health that is being taken into account, it's the socio-emotional mental health, along with that the social support system, and a kind of financial and economic security, which is important. So that should be taken into account. So this report is being monitored and should be published every 2 years. Public health expenditure in most of the high income countries is around 5.7% of the GDP. However, it's only 1.1% of the GDP in India. So what we need to have is a safe, accessible, high quality, integrated health delivery system with balanced diet, nutritional support, and healthy eating habits. Globally, you have nearly 2 million population which is being affected by insufficient or unsafe food and is in the verge of malnutrition. WHO has recommended standards for sodium intake which should be less than 2 grams per day, and reducing the sugar consumption to less than 10% or better if it is could be 5%. Now here are some of the schemes that we have. Most of you must be familiar with these schemes as those have been covered in most of the Yojana and Kurukshetra editions over the years. But however, still important ones are the strategic plan for elimination of TB, removal of excuse me, elimination of leprosy by 18, measles by 2020 and TB by 2025 has been one of our targets. Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi and the organ transplant systems, vector borne disease control and tobacco control have been some of the major ones. Now under the COVID, we have been focusing on Arogya Setu app. So we have a high focus on the aspects which could be focusing with Jan Arogya and Ayushman Bharat. We are also focusing on providing food grains of 5 kg per person to nearly 8 crore migrants who are not registered under the PDS systems. Now empowering the rural areas, you have Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, which we have already talked about, is a financial inclusion scheme. BharatNet, which is a internet connectivity in nearly 2.5 gram panchayats across India. PM Disha is again one of the schemes which focuses on merging or providing digital literacy across the villages. And then you also have the Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan, the SFBs, which is the small financial banks, and the CFL, which is the centers for financial literacy, being set up. So all these would enhance the financial awareness, the financial literacy. Along with that, you have JAM, which is the Jandan, Aadhaar and Mobile Trinity, the JAM Trinity that we say, has been important. So digital transfer, digital infrastructure, connectivity and empowerment has been very, very important. Now, if we focus on the Divyangs and the senior citizens, in this slide we would be focusing on Divyangs. So you have the SPIDA. SPIDA is the scheme for implementation of rights of persons with disability. So creation of barrier-free environment for them, increasing reservation in job to 4% and in education till 5% has been done. The word Viklang has been replaced with Divyang. Similarly, you have Rights of Persons with Disability Act 2016, which came in force in 2017, has been very, very important. Various aids have been given to people under this. Accessible India campaign, National India Plan for Skill Development and District Disability Rehabilitation campaigns are some of the ways through which they have been created. The Unique Disability Identification Card, UDID, has been created. Through the Swavlamban Health Insurance Scheme, health insurance has been given to people with disability, blindness, low vision, then you have leprosy, impairment. Then you have Accessible India, which was launched in 2015. The idea was to have universal accessibility to enhance accessible environment, be it in the transport network, be it in the communication network. And the Deen Dayal Disability Rehabilitation Scheme, that was empowering the people with disability to get aids in the non-governmental organizations and for rehabilitation. And finally, we have the senior citizen scheme. So maintenance and welfare of parents and senior citizens is the first scheme that we focus on. Now, this scheme has been working on a need-based requirement for maintenance of the parents and the senior citizens. The National Action Plan for Senior Citizens is based on the national policy for older people back in 1919, and maintenance of and the welfare of the senior citizen policy. This focuses on a 10 aspect. So the 10-point aspect focusing on finance, health, shelter, life protection, productive age group should be increased, skill development, accessibility, transport and age-friendly environment to be provided has been part of it. You have integrated program for senior citizens, that is again very, very important. It provides senior citizen old age home facilities, Rashtriya Vayoshri Yojana, which helps in assisted living devices that are given to senior citizens who are below poverty line. PM Jan Arogya we have already discussed. This was launched to cover nearly 10 crore people who belong to the poor and the vulnerable section. NSAP, which is the National Social Assistance Program, basically provides social security for old widows, disabled persons and the members of the families who were only single bread earner was present. Then you have Annapurna scheme. Annapurna scheme basically talks about free food grains of 10 kg to be distributed per person per month for those who are not covered under the scheme of the Indira Gandhi Old Age Pension Scheme. Then you have the National Program for Health Care of the Elderly. This is dedicated service for the health care to the elderly people through the various states. The PM Varisht Pension Yojana, the Varisht Pension Bima Yojana has been launched by LIC and has been important. You have 8% of the interest rate for a period of 10 years. And then you have PM Vaya Bandhan Yojana. Now, this is a scheme that has been released by government in 2017 along with LIC at a rate of 7.4% for a period of 10 years. The next is COVID care. You have various institutions which have been working hard. COVID are small particles from 0.5 to 5 micrometers, and 1 micrometer is 1 millionth of a meter. So you can understand the extent of the small particles that are suspended into the atmosphere, and with one sneeze there are at least 40,000 droplets that are released. So to take regular break to reduce the fatigue level, to have well cooked meat and egg in case you want to have those diet has been recommended. Then proper disposal of PPE kits, sanitize, the mask, the gloves have been important. Alcohol based sanitizers with greater than 60% ethanol and 70% isopropanol have been recommended. Similarly, N95 mask. Now N95 mask basically totally seal the face, not like a standard surgical mask. And here N stands for not resistant to oil. If it is R or P in front of it, P says it is oil proof, R says it is oil resistant. So that's how the variants occur. Now there have been various institutions which have been working. For example, CMAP Lucknow has developed a alcohol based herbal sanitizer. NBRI Lucknow has developed a herbal decongestant spray. Similarly, the Bhavnagar Institute has been working with face shields for the frontline workers, and those are unique because they have a outer coating which could kill the particles of the virus itself, and they can deactivate it on the surface itself. So the outermost coating is made of polysulfone, which is the compound that has been used. Similarly, the Palampur Institute has come up with tea-based hand sanitizers. The National Chemical Laboratories have developed a face mask with better efficiency. Similarly, you have the Bangalore Institute, the Nano and the Soft Matter Sciences, which has come up with a cup-shaped design of the mask that is there. You have the CMERI Durgapur, which has been working with battery-powered disinfectant sprays, which could be used for mobile indoor purposes, and also soap cum dispensing units, which would be there, which have been developed by the institution. And this is a unique device where you would have soap, and after 20 seconds you would have water that would come up. So the ratio has been maintained, and 2 containers have been put simultaneously, which is really an interesting research. And then you have the Indian Institute of Toxicological Research, which has produced nearly 2,800 liters of hand sanitizers and distributed to nearly 25,000 personnel involved in essential and basic services. So those were some of the key highlights of Kurukshetra. We would be covering Yojana and Kurukshetra on a monthly basis. So stay tuned. Have a wonderful day ahead.